Atletico fans. This is Atletico Fanatics. This is me. I'm Saint Keeks. This is my friend again, Alex. We're following up again on yet another somewhat disappointing game versus Barcelona. I know we had a lot of high hopes coming into this game, where despite these positive form, it was at our home. We wanted to see what we could do, try and push for a little one more chance for a trophy, and it seemed like a very sad way to go out. Not just the fact that we lost, but the fact that we lost with what seemed to be a very poor performance at home, not really endangering Barcelona and really taking our chances. And so we're gonna talk about a lot of the different aspects of the game, what to look forward to, all these other things. So I think I'll start with my first question to Alex. What did you think about the starting 11 so far today?
I think starting 11 was literally like, I mean, like we expected it because like the news came out during like before that day itself that Aspilicueta might start on the right hand side,
Hmm.
and Musa was pretty much confirmed for the keeper. And I think I wasn't really convinced with the starting 11. I think we should have gone with like a much stronger starting 11, given the fact that this is the only chance we had for a trophy this season, and we literally like blew it away.
Hmm.
And I think like the match is pretty much on Simeone for me, whether we like it or not. But I think like if someone is responsible, that is Simeone for this match, because with that starting 11, like we lacked a lot of stuff, because like we could see in the second half with the changes made, like how the things could have been in the first half. But again, I don't know why. What was Simeone thinking? To be honest, like such a big match coming up, and then you just like experimented. Even in the first half, like if we see like Simeone changed the formation three times. We
Right.
just we just couldn't settle. We just couldn't settle in the match. Like we
Which
couldn't
could you
even
say
make
which
three
parts
four
of the
passes.
formation changed in the first half? Just to clarify for some people.
Yes, so basically when we started the match, it was Spilicueta and then
Hmm.
Lorente on the right hand side, and it was Renildo and Giuliano, and then Simeone went to 5-3-2 with Spilicueta, Jimenez, Lenormand at centre backs, and then Giuliano playing as a right wing back and Renildo left wing back with Lorente in midfield. And then
Hmm.
he was just like keep changing, like he kept changing it like through and like we could see Giuliano on the right hand side, then on the left hand side, and then somewhere just like Juliano, which again doesn't make any sense because in Giuliano Simeone have been great on the right hand side throughout the season, and such important match you put him on the left hand side where again like all of a sudden he has like changes stuff, which is again not good, especially in the important match like this. Like you have to play like where you were playing throughout the season,
Hmm.
and then you come with Aspilicueta. I didn't understand the why Aspilicueta started the match, to be honest. And I, first 6 minutes, that was a probably a red card. I swear. I thought like the referee going to the VAR, that's a red card. I don't know how we escaped it. I have no idea. For me, I think we were really lucky on that one.
How
But
do you feel about the
anyway,
arbitration in general on the day? Actually, I could follow up on that question. How do you feel about
oh, the giving yellow cards for fun.
that?
That was, I think, like Munuera was trying like his best to just beat the allegations when he got uh, when he got like like associated with us, that like he was like with Atletico and like his company was with Atleti and stuff. So he was like trying to beat the allegations. So every tackle was literally going to the yellow card. Every player, Molina came in first tackle, he made yellow card. So I mean, like Munuera was having a yellow card party, that's for sure. Even Simeone got a yellow card. But seriously, I have no idea how Aspilicueta escaped the red card. For me, that was I have seen those given. I've seen
Hmm.
those, given red cards. But anyway, moving on to the first half, I think we were pretty good just in the first 5 minutes.
Hmm.
That's it, where we like made a few chances. After that, it was all Barcelona. We just couldn't cut the gaps, and it was very easy for Barcelona to pick the passes up, to make spaces, to run in behind, and again, the same thing. Ferran Torres, man, I keep telling you guys this. Like he always have a knack against us. He always scores against us for some reason. For the past few matches, he's been scoring against us. I mean, like it goes unnoticed, but again, Ferran Torres starting against us is always a different kind of a player. And anyway, moving on to the fact the first half was really, really shameless to be honest. Like I don't know, like what were players even like fine, like Simeone made a mistake, fine. But again, like it comes from players as well, the mentality, that hungerness, which we couldn't see. There
Right.
should be there should be some hungerness, there should be some, that eagerness, that intentions to play. Maybe fatigue played the part, I have no idea. Julian Alvarez looked like he was sick or something because he was not up to the mark. Griezmann, I think like his age is getting to the way now. Like he's probably like getting dusted and getting like his like when like a things get old, it gets rusted. And that's
Yeah.
what's happening with Griezmann right now.
Yeah.
And because he was nowhere to be seen, and then Rodrigo De Paul again, very the passes he was trying to make was very loose. And even in the second half, there was a few chances where Rodrigo De Paul took a loose touch, lost the ball, and they had a counter 2v2 with Lamine Yamal, and luckily that wasn't a goal. So I think I don't know, maybe fatigue played the part or what was it, but the first half was awful. Maybe because of the starting lineup. If I think Simon should have gone through like the players which weren't in the national break, like Gallagher. Gallagher should have started. He was great. He was
Hmm.
great in the game against Espanyol. He was great against Real Madrid. I'm sure like Gallagher starting would have given this team an extra, that work. Like he should have
Hmm.
like pressed up higher. He ran around like crazy in Spanish game, and he would have like ran in this game as well. The fact that like he didn't even play any minute is like really frustrating for me. Like how the hell you can keep a player like him out, whereas like you keep substituting. I have no idea like what was Simeone thinking, to be honest. This whole match is like I can go like points to points. The whole rant I can go on with this match because it made no sense. It made no sense the way we played. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna leave it the rest to you. To be honest, what do you think about the first half?
Um, I think I saw what you're talking about when in terms of the formation changes, where you would see randomly, you'd see Giuliano on the right hand side, you would see Giuliano started on the left, then you'd see De Paul on the left, then you'd see Llorente in the midfield, and it was just like I think while I am usually very proud of Simeone noticing and actively trying to address when he has noticed something going wrong with his game and trying to attack it and fix it in the game. A lot of times when you see him do it frequently, it usually is a very bad sign of you don't actually know what the solution is on hand, and maybe it would be better to just leave it for a few seconds, take out time to think about it. Like even sometimes even 5 minutes more can usually give him that extra chance of think. Because I think when they we scored that goal on us was when De Paul had just switched onto the left hand side and Juliano was on the right. And De Paul, who is now on a yellow card from one tackle, as you previously mentioned, right, is now effectively in front of Yamal, and then Reinildo is a little further behind. And there's a gap between them because they're not accustomed to them being together in the first place. And boom, just like that, Ferran jumps into the middle, and then like that, they score on us. And it's like, I know a lot of us were very scared about Musso starting over Oblak, but I think fundamentally, outside of maybe Oblak being a more commandeering personality, very little I could say would have changed between Musso and Oblak in terms of things because that first half was just poor across the board.
That's true.
And
That's true. No, I mean
yeah,
some people think that Oblak maybe could have saved it because like the way he comes in 1v1 situations.
right.
Maybe, but again, like that's like that depends. That really depends, to be honest. Like I didn't see like Musa making any, let's say, errors. I mean, like Oblak is getting good with the ball, which I think like Musa lacked. Like with the ball, he was not that good because
Hmm.
Oblak is pretty good with the like he got pretty good with the ball. We have seen this season with passes to Griezmann, Correa, Juliano, and that
Right.
pretty good passes. So I think that would have maybe made the difference. But either way, I think Musso. I think I'm not really disappointed with Musso that much that I can blame Musso for the goal or anything.
So it's
You can
like
really do that, but it's just with the starting 11. To be honest, that
I
was
think
the
when I saw the
wasn't that
starting 11 on the day, I was like, okay, I like because considering the reports we saw the 2 days before, I was genuinely scared before that. But I was like, oh, that's a loss. Like I saw that lineup and I was just like, that's a definitive loss. When I saw the lineup on the day, I was like, okay, we have a chance. Maybe we can create something with these lineups. But I don't personally like when we don't have at least three midfielders on the pitch. I like when Gallagher is on the pitch or when either on the left or the right hand side. I like when to see because we have that control, especially when Koke is on too, because being able to make those off the ball runs and Koke will find you, and then also being able to have that extra notion of okay, I'm just not just going to run forward and not to undermine Giuliano, but sometimes he does. He's a little too direct. He's 22, so it comes with the territory. But Giuliano yesterday, not poor, but putting him into a new position with new dynamics kind of threw off our familiarity because to me I was surprised that you had that first game against Barcelona the last game at home, right? For about 70 something minutes, we completely dominated Barcelona. Or I wouldn't say dominate. Okay, we were in complete control of Barcelona. Barcelona had maybe one chance in the first half with Lamine in the first like 3 minutes, and then after that, nothing. We created chances. We scored two goals. We could have scored more, but two goals was a fair result for what we got there. And then I was like, okay, well, it's a very easy fix to this. We do the exact same thing. We take out the problem that was on the day, which is Longley. You put in Lenormand. You keep Jimenez on the left hand side, and you put Lenormand in his more favorable position on the right because he can handle Rafinha. He can handle Firmino. It's not a problem. But having Lenormand in his less favored position on the left, where Jimenez actually likes to play too, he doesn't like to be overly aggressive on the right, you kind of see these small cracks show, and it's like as you open these small cracks, like you Barcelona will exploit it. Um, I'd also like to ask. I'll follow up by. I think I'm done with the first half and the first starting level, but I'll follow up by saying, what did you think of the second half, and what did you think about the substitutes in terms of Galan, Solat, all these other
sec-
things?
second? Yeah, second half was much better. Again, I'm gonna go back to this. Like again, if we put the strong 11 in the first half, game would have been different. Simple as that.
Hmm.
Like maybe we could have scored as well. Maybe we would have created some chances as well. Not like like it's not like you just experiment something and then like you are like behind by a goal and then you throw everything in the second half because then you don't have any options because that's like you leave it too late for to do something. Why can't like just go for it in the start itself? Why like are you leaving it late?
Hmm.
That's like my that would be like what do you want critics? Yeah, critic about Simeone for this one. Like again, solely on Simeone on this one. But again, second half again. Why didn't you bring on Gallagher? The same thing. He's full of energy. 45 minutes to go. He would have given a lot, a lot.
Hmm.
Then like you left some players on the pitch. Griezmann looked rusty. I mean, like again, even Alvarez looked rusty to be honest. Like I think maybe it was fatigue because of the international break, where I thought actually international break would help us in a good way, but like it's exactly the opposite.
Hmm.
But anyway, Sorloth came in, Longley came in, Galan came in. I would say three good substitutions. That was spot on. Look, also, I'm gonna come back to this. Like, you can literally see how small things make such a big difference.
Right.
How ball playing center back, left footed ball playing center back can make a huge difference. And Longley isn't even that good. And he
Hmm.
made a huge difference in the second half with controlling the ball, with the passes, or with taking the ball, front to midfield, a huge difference in the second half. Then Galan again, like fine, like defensively again, Yamal already tried to kill him, when he came on. But again, offensively, he was really good. Galan was pretty good offensively. He was checking the ball. He was dribbling around the Barca players. He was, going forward and we didn't see Ronaldo going forward at all in the first half. So see how few things can make a difference. Like if you get those quality players, I think this is a good test where we actually lack. Like you can see the left back situation. One is good
Mhm.
defensively, one is good offensively, and there is no balance. We need to find a left back who has that balance of defense and offense. And then the second would be a good ball playing left footed center back. We saw how Longley came in and like literally like it came much different. Whereas like in the first half, our centre backs were trying to find the passes, like where to play, where to play. With Longley coming in, like he made it easy to play the passes from the back. And Longley isn't even that good, like we just discussed. Like Longley has been like so
Mhm.
poor defensively in the main matches. So you can just see like how much big difference it made these few things. And then coming to the Sorloth situation, Sorloth always finds a way against Barcelona. He has the snack, and he almost scored as well. Like he just got one chance. He scored the other one with offside, but again he was trying. He did, I think he did pretty good as well coming on the second half. For me, it should have been Griezmann coming off with Alvarez and Sorloth playing up front. Gallagher again playing in the middle because again the ball was out of any control as well. Gallagher, Barrios, and then Julian. If Julian would have played on the right hand side, we would have done something, to be honest. Because the first half we literally wasted Giuliano. Even let's say Giuliano is tired, bring on Lino. Like try to do some
Yeah.
tweaks. Lino again, it'll give you some energy. Like he's not even that bad defensively. Lino is not even that bad defensively. He would have done something. So with the substitute, didn't even make sense. Like bringing Molina on, I mean, like, what are we doing? Like, we have already have Lorente. We had, but Esplicata came off later on. That's different. But Molina coming on instead of like Lino or Gallagher didn't make any sense to me. And then you bringing on Rodrigo Riquelme. The guy hasn't played whole season. I don't even know how many minutes he played this season. Bringing him on as well, like, didn't make any sense. And we could see like he was just getting selfish at the last, whenever getting into that
Yeah.
last three, he was getting selfish, not playing the passes as a right back or playing in the middle. So I didn't understand. I mean, like again, I would say like Simeone would have made good changes. It would have been different. Second half was much better because I think we played with much more eagerness. There were a few chances, that's true. But again, like our main players, they were invisible, to be honest. Julian Alvarez, we didn't see him throughout the match. Griezmann, I mean, like there was a very good ball. I think it was from De Paul or Molina. I forgot where Griezmann slipped. He couldn't connect with the ball, and he was onside.
Oh, right. And he was supposed to volley it, and had he done that, he could have scored. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he couldn't. And I think the prime Griezmann does it. But again, Griezmann is like we should actually think about renewing this contract now because do we actually really need him? I mean, like he's a legend of the club. Don't get me wrong. Like I like Griezmann. He's still my phone wallpaper actually. But
Yeah.
still, yeah. Like, do we actually need
It,
him now?
it,
Because like, look, the age is getting into him. Like we all,
yeah.
you I mean, if Griezmann can be useful, like if he's coming from the bench, just like that Modric situation at Real Madrid, great. Like a few matches he can play, a few matches he can come off the bench with that, like control the midfield, control the game. He can do that, yes. But again, like
Mhm.
Griezmann, like we should find a good replacement for Griezmann now. But yes, anyway, yeah. Going back to you, what do you think about the second half?
I think you mentioned we both. I think we've both mentioned Lino and Gallagher already. I think what we've missed the most in these games was Koke coming off the bench in the same way that we just mentioned, right? Koke has lost some of his legs. He's not quite as fast as he used to be physically, but he's still as experienced as he always was. He's still capable of making those line breaking passes or the long balls. He's capable of seeing the entire pitch. And what he does a lot of times is he mitigates a lot of the problems in terms of terms of link up. He also immediately addresses what you need to do going forward. And so I was surprised to see the fact that the midfield was functionally unchanged throughout the entire game until maybe the last spot where Llorente was in the midfield for Raquelme, which a little confused about that part, but sure. Um, I don't mind the subs. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, Longley, he passed well, right? Defended okay, nothing crazy, fine. Galan, he was dribbling past players. It's like at least offensively he was offering something. Nothing crazy. I don't think I saw much of his deliveries doing anything too much, but it's like Galan had something that Reynolds wasn't doing offensively, and there was a sort of a shift. There's a clear intent to attack and these other things. I'm not sure what Riquelme was supposed to offer because what he did was effectively. So Melina coming on was like one of those redundancy substitutions because it's like, okay, well, Llorente's already doing the exact same thing. Why is Melina coming on? I don't think even if you drop him back to right back, anything really changes in Llorente. But it's like by having Molina on, you're just doing the exact same thing in the sense of like the same profile right now. Because Griezmann isn't going to do some of his insane link up with Molina, which normally is the case with them. But that didn't happen on the day because Griezmann isn't playing great. So you don't need to bring on Molina. But then it's like with Riquelme, it's like almost a third level of redundancy where it's like, okay, well, you're not doing anything that Molina can't do or Llorente can't do, but you're also taking up Llorente's space. You're wasting Molina's balls, and you're either passing poorly to the wrong people, so you're putting a ball into space for De Paul, who can't catch up to it in terms of speed. He was tired anyway. Even if he wasn't going to catch it. You're driving into 2 to 3 players, and it's just like that didn't really make sense. This wasn't the game for him to come on. I think a game for him to come on would be a team that has that space, like a Real Betis, like a Mallorca, who have that. But that's not. Wasn't here today. I don't know why he came on. So it's like you went, and to see that, I thought Koke would have been great. I thought Calico would have been great. I thought Lino would have been great. I would have arguably. I know this is a crazy set. I think Lamar would have had at least something different by being a left-footed midfielder, by being that able to put that pass somewhere, maybe. But a
True,
lot of
true.
these,
I mean, like if you can trust Riquelme, like coming on, like you can trust Lamar
you
as
could
well.
trust
Maybe he
Lamar.
would have.
He could do the exact same thing. So
Exactly.
Solat was fine if he could stay on side. That made me so mad how I kept on seeing him offside because I knew he was going to score. If you just stay on side, please, we're scoring this, we're equalizing, we're at least taking it to the 90 minutes and maybe beyond that. But when he kept on staying offside, I was like, oh gosh, not today, boy. And then who else do you call on the bench after that? Is the now follow-up question because his career is banned after what he did to the referee in Getafe, and then Griezmann isn't playing well. So it's like, do you call up from the academy? Do you put Lino in that position? What is the solution? And it's like, I think you have to sit down and realize part of this is due to the capitulation that happened from Getafe to Real, the last Barca game, Espanyol to now. Like this is a slow capitulation that happened because
And not
things
to
kind
mention
of
Bilbao as well. Against Athletic
and
Bilbao, we
so
were lucky, very lucky. They hit the post thrice.
so that Bilbao game was very close, and I don't want to disrespect Bilbao because they've had a really good team this season. I think Athletic Club was normally they hit January and they get exhausted because their squad is just not able to rotate properly and they're a very small squad because of their rules on bad stuff, right? But this
True.
season they looked great. But I would say at the same time that Athletic Club looked great, we have been better across the board. And so if that is the case, it should not have been as close as it was at our home against them. 1-0 is a good game for against two big teams, but 1-0 is a sad score when we're trying to really push for that extra oomph. We need to get that extra, be it internally with the academy or externally from transfers, because Correa, who is normally that guy at the last minute of the games who will come on and substitute on, has been unreliable at times this season. And I usually can't say that about him. Solat, who has come off the bench and usually produced something out of nothing, didn't get to produce that today. Griezmann, who's usually the guy, has produced
Well,
one
it's
goal and
mainly
assist
because
since February.
I think like the players around him they created enough chances. It's fine. Like yeah, Rodrigo De Paul gave him a really nice ball. He had that one
Right.
chance. He couldn't convert it. The second chance he had, he did it, and the finish was great. But again, he was offside. Besides that, nothing else. He didn't get any chance besides that.
Right.
And the fact that like we didn't even had any shots on target, like it's really. I mean, like someone shoots from outside
That's
the deep.
I think the saddest part is not the fact that Barcelona played well, is the fact that they played well in our in home stadium in front of the fans after we went through multiple disappointments. You put them through that 2-4 last time. Give them something to talk about this time. You didn't even come out to look like you tried in the first half. The second half, maybe, but not really. And then it's like no shots on target in 90 minutes against Barcelona is sad. Like Barcelona has like maybe 4 clean sheets in La Liga. Like that's not something you should be. I don't know. We've always scored against them at least once. Even if we've lost, we've scored against them. And this time we didn't even take a shot on them. And that's just
Exactly, that's the thing. That's where I come in. Like, so you always start well. That's why you always start well. We don't wait for like the second half like to
Mhm.
wait for something to happen. Like someone like getting out of this situation from like if you're not gonna field up your strongest 11, like don't expect anything in the last moment. Someone's stepping up as well. So again, I would say even the substitutes didn't make much sense. I've seen this season. Simeone has been pretty good when it came when it was against Barcelona, but the match which mattered the most, he fucked up.
Mhm.
And Simeone has been fucking up against Barcelona a lot because for some reason he always make some stupid changes against Barcelona. I don't know why. His tactics never really work against Barcelona. But this season, we won 2-1. We won the game 4-4. And even at Metropolitano, we were winning 2-0 until that mistakes from our defenders, obviously. But again, like there was like we were going toe to toe with Barcelona, which is very rare, given the fact that they're the team to beat this season. And but again, coming back to the match which mattered the most, you fucked up again. I don't know why. I don't know why Simeone does this stupid thing against Barcelona, which doesn't really make sense. And now we're out of the Copa del Rey, out of the league potentially because Barcelona is 9 points ahead of us, out of the Champions League as well. Nothing to play for. Well, we because now also because top four is something we have to achieve because Athletic Bilbao is literally 2 points behind us. Villarreal is pretty much nearer to us as well. So I think top four is the only thing we left to play with. But coming back on like this whole rant like makes sense. But like now since like I'm calm, like it took me like all of my day actually. Now coming back to the start of the season, start of the season, like what was the main goal? So again, the main goal was to cut the gap between Barcelona and Real Madrid because in our history we've never gone toe to toe with these two clubs. We've always been the underdogs, but this season we've been, like we're going toe to toe against them. Like it's like end to end stuff. It's not like they're dominating us completely or anything like that. We're going toe to toe against them. You can see that 4-4 match at the Metropolitano. So the main objective was to cut the gap between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and slowly we are getting there. We're cutting the gap. We have to build a team around Julian Alvarez, to keep this momentum going forward. We have to. I mean, the rest, the 9 matches. These 9 matches, use it to see who's good enough to stay at Atletico Madrid and who should we get in, to replace these players because I see a lot of players in this side which I think should go. And these 9 matches are good enough, to test which one should stay, which one should leave, and we can prepare for the next season and eventually for the Club World Cup as well. This is what I think that we should do for the rest of the 9 matches, and obviously, like we have to qualify for the Champions League for the next season as well. We have to be the top four. So this would
Hmm.
be my scene. And for summer, I think for next summer, we have to build the team around Julian Alvarez. He has to be our main guy,
Hmm.
and we need to get the quality players. We can't fuck up in the transfer market this time because this season, like we've seen, like with just a little bit of firepower, what Atletico Madrid can do, and if we really like, like we have the complete squad, we can be literally we can be the best team, and there will be a time. I'm telling, there will be a time where
We're the best
Atletico
team in Spain.
exactly will be the best team in Spain. There will be a time, and it's coming pretty soon because like as season by season, we're getting better and better and better. We're getting to the level of Real and Barca. That's a good side, like the saying, like look on the bright side. That's the bright side I can look for right now. Given the fact that March was awful and everything. If again, like if we like take out March, I think we were going on a different run. Like you mentioned, like if this match is being played in January or February, we win this match easily. We kill
Hmm.
Barcelona, that's for sure. Because the momentum was on our side, the players were pretty good. There was no fatigue in the team. Everyone was playing like it's the last match. And now it's the different scene. I think fatigue definitely has something to say in this match. But again, like Simeone fucked up as well, not to mention that as well. But yeah, coming back to my point that we should look who should stay in our team and who should not. These are the nine matches that we should make a list out of this. What about you? What do you think?
I agree. I think if there are players to who you think you can integrate into the team, now would be the time to integrate them. We have some teams that we're playing against that are not particularly insane in terms of form at a mid-table where they don't really particularly move either here or there in terms of where they want to be. Some of them, like Real Valladolid, we're playing Real Valladolid. Kind of hard to pronounce, but we're playing that
But
at our home. Yeah, we're playing against them at home. We beat them 5-0 last time. We could have beat them 7, honestly. And I was at their home. So I think if we play that properly, that's a game where you can show in some debutants. Maybe consider if you get somebody from the academy and you think that they have a chance of properly integrating next season, that can sometimes alleviate what you need to get in terms of players. So, do we need another right back? Probably not. We have two good right backs in Llorente and Molina, right? Molina's never had a preseason with us since
yeah,
joining.
even if yeah, like yeah, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Even
Yeah.
some players, like even some fans, even if like Molina, I think I somewhat agree to their point because Molina is kind of a player like there is inconsistent to be honest.
Mhm.
Because like he'll have a good game, the next game he won't have that much of a good game. He's inconsistent. I'll give you that. Like yes, he is. But again, on his game, Molina is pretty good. And if you have two options, of Llorente and Molina, there's no need to invest something which we don't really need.
Right.
What we really need is a good left centre back. Like if we have the money, we have 55 million to go for Coutinho Romero, we can go for any good left centre back in the world.
Hmm.
Any, like Bastoni would be out of reach, that's for sure, and he'll be expensive as well, like 70, 75
Okay,
million.
well, we're not going crazy with like Guardiola Bastoni, but I think there are
Yeah,
options for us there.
yeah, but there are options like this Pero in Kapi. I think Kapi can come in 50 million easily. A cheaper option, David Ansko from Feyenoord, he can come for like 30, 40 easily. So instead of going for Coutinho Romero again, like just because like he's Argentinian, he has that that robust attitude, he has that 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 dog in him, that dog fight in him. Just because of that, like it doesn't make sense to be honest. Like spending 50 million, given the fact that we already have two right-footed centre backs in Jimenez and Lenormand. What we actually need is a good left centre back, and if we can spend 50 million on a defender, I think it should be a left centre back. The next position, which we really feel like is lacking, is a good left back. Like everyone can see what we really need is a good left back. We can't
Mm-hmm.
fuck up in this position. Either it is Milos Kirkis. Let's say we go for Ansko, save a few millions, 10 to 20 millions. We can add those millions in a good left back coming in Milos Kirkis, which would be a difficult signing, Milos Kirkis, but he is pretty good. Milos Kirkis, offensively, defensively, he's pretty good. Then the next option is Alvaro Carreras, but again, I think with Manchester United having a buyback clause on him, he might go back to United. Who knows? If he doesn't, I mean, like we can get him very cheaply from Benfica as well. But a good left back is definitely there. A good left centre back should be there, and then the next options should be about replacing Griezmann and getting another midfielder because we lack creativity in this team. Alex Baena has been linked with Atletico de Madrid for the past few seasons, and there's a rumor that he's a priority signing for this summer. Alex
Mm-hmm.
Baena, and I saw this fact like Alex Baena has created 80 chances. You know, 80 chances. That's like twice the chances he created from our players, which is a lot, a lot. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Alex Baena, another good option. So like we already know like what actually need in this team. Again, back to my point. Use these 9 matches to see who can stay and who cannot. Simple. Because most of the players, like let's just be honest, like if there's a top team who wants a player from Atletico de Madrid, they only look at Julian Alvarez. That's it. No other player gets into in any top team, in top 5 leagues.
I think after the season, no, I think there's like Barrios is an option that people would want to look at. Obviously, we need to tie him down properly. DePaul is somebody that people would want to look at. I don't think he cares to leave. Honestly, I think I think this season he's been one of the best midfielders in the world. I think uh,
Again, Depol is 31. He's again getting to that that rear
a
end
lot of
age.
the options that people would want to have from Atletico are players that either do not care to leave or no, I think it's just people who don't like Barres isn't gonna leave, right? Like he's been here forever. His family's in Madrid. Like there's no reason for him to leave. The Paul, same thing. He's surrounded by his friends. You know, Alvarez, he just came here. He has his friends here. There's no reason for him to leave. Like if you look at our centre backs and him and as well, it's like it doesn't really change where
No,
you
but
go.
again, my point
So
is like if any top team, let's say from Premier League or from
if they
let's
were
say
looking
Barcelona,
seriously, yeah, there are players that
yeah,
they might want
exactly.
from us. But good luck. We're not a selling club anymore. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's true. That's true. But like no, again, like the point is like besides Julian Alvarez, like you don't see any player like who can go big. You get
well, yeah, no, yeah, probably not.
yeah,
Maybe
that's
Samu.
exactly.
Samu is technically we have 50% on Samu. We could get some more for him. I don't know.
Samu was a perfect heir for Diego Costa, according to me. I think
I,
he would have been perfect. He's strong,
he
he's fast. He was everything we need as a striker in Atletico de Madrid.
it is
Everything.
a it is a
But
huge shame that it did not work out for him because he looked so ready to join our team. I don't. To me, in my mind, as Morata was, I thought Morata was staying, and they would get Samu to be that guy who would come on and control over that. It's like to see that he left. If we were to believe the rumors that he said that he wanted to go and play in the Premier League, which is a shame. I think that was a bad sign because this would have been the place for development. If there was a coach who could come in and teach you to get to that next level, it was Simeone. If there was a team that suited you the best in terms of counter attacking and these other things, it was Atletico. And you had friends here from the Spanish national team in Barrios. You had people who wanted you to succeed. So it's unfortunate that it happened like it did, but it is what it is. Any case, I feel like we've talked a lot. We talked
that's true.
about
That's true.
what we felt about the game, what we're looking forward to next season after this, because part of this is also down to things did not work out the month. Like this is almost like a little bit of a recap as well. Like this game is a culmination of errors that came together. So I think we talked about a lot of different things. I think we'll try and talk more about possible departures, possible incomings as the games go by. I think we'll try and list them on as we keep on going on. I think the only two we can guarantee that will leave is Aspilicueta and Witzel. Everybody else has a nice little question mark on top of them. We'll move from there and also. So yeah. Anything else would you like to add, or we could be wrapping it up?
No, I mean, like, I think like there's a lot to rant about and a lot of feelings coming out in this video as well. And to
Hmm.
all the Atletico Madrid fans who are watching this, let us know your opinions as well. What do you think about the starting lineup and what are your thoughts on the match? Let us know. Join us this conversation and keep supporting us. We just started, and we have a lot of things coming up your way, and we'll keep going. And maybe like in future, maybe we'll add a few more people with us as well. The more the more thoughts we can get is much better, because again, like Atletico Fanatics is all about like by fans for fans.
Hmm.
That's the whole motto of this thing is. And please like and subscribe this video, and as usual, thank you, Saint Geeks. And you guys can follow us on X as well. You'll find the link in the description. And see you guys in the next video. Ciao ciao, bye bye.